Hey everyone, my name is Lindsay Rozier, the creator and founder of Sell, Eat, Love. I am here today again for another retail spotlight with the girls from Gigi's in Bluffton, South Carolina. I have known these amazing women for almost 8 years, and I have loved seeing their store flourish and grow, and they are going to tell us a little bit about themselves today, and then we're going to dive into some fun questions so you can get to know them better. This is Emily and Anna, and tell us about your store, yourselves, and how y'all got started.
We opened almost 13 years ago, just, I wouldn't say on a whim, but kind of. We were like, we live in a small town, and we're like, our town doesn't have any boutiques, so why don't we open one? That sounds like a good idea. And so,
how most good ideas start.
Yeah, probably over some wine or something. So anyways, we opened in 2008, and right after we had got our business loan and did our buying, everything crashed and the recession hit. And so we were forced to just kind of figure it out. And so that was almost 13 years ago. And we have since each had 4 kids, so we have 8 kids total. We have amazing girls at our store, as you know.
Yes,
most of them have been there for, I don't know, some of them 9-10 years, but all of them for a long time. So without those amazing girls, we could not do nearly as much as we do. But yeah, we've been shopping in Atlanta Market for a long, long time.
Well, and thinking about y'all opening and then hitting the recession, I mean, going through COVID is not your first rodeo of setbacks and trying to figure things out and address how to find and serve your customers, all while dealing with, extreme situations. So
that's true. Once COVID hit, we were like, we've done this before, we can do this again. It's just a matter of, really diving into the business side and the finance side and figuring out all the number game and how to make it work. But there's kind of always a way, I think.
Yeah, we both have the type of personality where it's either sink or swim, and we're going to figure out a way to swim. And we just do it, and we don't get too stuck on thinking about it, and we just, do what we need to do to keep going.
I love hearing that, and I know the people watching are going to love hearing that too, because even though we are hopefully on the other side of it, there's lasting effects from it, and just knowing that they're not alone, that there are other people who are in the same situation and they're figuring it out, and I think that gives them encouragement that they can figure it out too. So speaking of leaving 2020 behind and moving forward, how do you feel about 2021 so far? What are you thinking about the fashion industry, how your community is moving forward, things like that?
I think we're both really optimistic. I think, people seem to want to shop. They want to get out. And yes, as we all know, everything turned a little bit more casual, but they still want some more fun, dressier things as well. So we're really optimistic, excited about 2021, and have really felt that, people really are shopping again.
I think so too. And with casual, I think people have a matching set for every day of the week.
Every day.
Now we're ready to move on to, jeans or pants separate.
Yes.
And what about your community? How do you feel that your community is kind of moving forward?
I feel like our community is booming. It's growing. There's a lot of people moving there. So our community in particular, Bluffton, is definitely growing, but I think people are wanting to try to find normalcy, and so with our shoppers, it is a lot, normal minus the face masks in the store, but everything feels pretty normal. So thankfully, but yeah, our community's booming. And
I've been to Bluffton so many times to see y'all, and I think so many communities like yours this past year really pulled together, and they were like, let's shop small, let's support and keep these businesses in business. So I know y'all are very fortunate to have a community that loves you and wants you to still be there. Okay, moving on to trends, kind of getting ready for what's coming up this year. What trends do you think will work for your area? Y'all are near the coast. do y'all have things that y'all are looking forward to sharing with your customers this coming up year?
I think we have a mutual one that we're very excited about.
I'm excited too. What is it?
I'm very excited. I know Emily's too, about gauze.
Oh.
And that is everywhere, it seems like. And
Just the lightweight is perfect for us, all the bright colors. And again, like there's a lot of matching sets with it, like with gauze or linen or whatever. But they are just a little bit elevated. And so, I mean, I think that started last year and it definitely is continuing. But I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of gauze too. And I live on the coast, so I can see that. But I think it applies to so many different areas. That's a good one. I'm excited about that.
Well, with our area, like we are a small town and not an urban. And so, I mean, it's not, as you know, like super, super trendy. You kind of have to take the trends and then make it work for where we are. And so I think that's, what we try to do for sure.
Well, and I think with having, like you were saying, that they're a little more elevated, I think, wearing mostly from the top up when you're working from home, doing things virtually, you can add a necklace, you can add a cardigan or whatever you need to take that kind of loungy gauze basic and elevate it for work if you need to. Mm-hmm. So, because people love that work to weekend look. Yeah. So I'm definitely on the gauze train as well. You talked about the gauze and because I was going to ask next, what trends are you looking forward to seeing for spring and summer? Mm-hmm. So that, and then are you seeing a lot of colors?
I mean, I definitely think a lot of color, which is fun. I mean, I'm ready for it. I think it's a mood booster too. Like I think we all want it. So
I think so too. I mean, the 2 colors of the year didn't lend to a ton of color, but I feel like bright color pairs with each of them, with the gray and the gold. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm seeing a ton of bright colors, hot pink, turquoise, things like that. Yeah. So switching gears to fall, you're here shopping for all fall things, sweaters, cardigans, jeans. Share with us what your game plan is when you're getting ready to come here to shop for such a big season.
Ooh.
I
know, and I think we probably have different answers with this.
Well, y'all definitely, because I've known you for so long, you definitely divide and conquer.
Well, yes, we do. And we each have brands that we're good at buying just because we have over so many years, although we do. I mean, I feel like the Atlanta market has new ones each time we come, and so it's nice to look around. But I'm a report junkie, and so I really pull all our reports and look at them, get the numbers going, and buy a lot according to that. And so before a big market, before a big season switch, so now going into fall and winter, I really do look at all of those.
That's smart,
to prepare
and
for us.
probably more now than ever, just to make sure what you're making very smart buying choices.
I mean, it's always easy to come and pick out the cute things, but it's really the business side of it to make your boutique really thrive. I feel like is important to remember as well.
I love that. So since y'all do kind of divide and conquer, what's your
way
method?
More fun than that.
Let's see. Let me think what it would be some things. Emily definitely does the numbers and the reports.
Well, you're more into the merchandising side of it.
Yes, that would be so. That would be.
And making everything work together.
Which is really nice because y'all complement each other really well. Because I would say I've been to hundreds of boutiques in the Southeast and yours is so well merchandised and put together and thoughtful. And I think that is probably why y'all are such a great team, because your strengths play on each other. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this would love to have a partner in crime that, kind of pulled their strengths or, helped each other make the store the best it can be. So I love that. What is one of your favorite showrooms at Atlanta Apparel?
That's a tough one. There's so many good ones.
I know, there are. And being in business now, going on 13 years, we have relationships with them. And like you, when you were here, and definitely one of our favorites is Level Showroom, Mark and Paul.
We worked with them for so long. They're such nice guys. They're all the girls at Reeves. I mean,
Yes.
of course. And
they're so fun, and whenever we're tired and we're like, oh, I'm so tired, like we just want to go home, we're like, let's go to Reeves. They'll like pep us up and keep us going.
Yes, they do pep us up. Yes, they do, and we love Jason Scott.
Yes, Jason and Meg, whose
Jason
work
and Meg,
helps there. Like, it's a great one as well. But there are so many good ones.
There are, and you were saying earlier how much the Mart has evolved over the years. And I think that plays into why you probably can't make a decision on who your favorite is, because you've had great experiences with so many, and the new brands are always coming to, get the creative juices flowing even more. So
yeah, it is always exciting to see which new lines will be here, because there are always new ones, new things and new looks when we get here. We're like, oh, look at that,
Yeah, and I was thinking too, like out of a situation like this comes so much new. So I know that musicians have been creating and artists, and I wonder how many new brands are going to be born out of this situation with the silver lining of it all. And how many of us are going to fall in love with them, or it be exactly what we were, missing or looking for. Yeah. So I'm excited too about the future and what's going to come out of 2020. So kind of switching gears to phones, social media, things like that. What is your store, or you personally, what is your favorite social media app?
I think the store does the best on Instagram, without a doubt. I would say neither of us are very gifted in the social media, like knowledge of it. We have, since we are not gifted in the area, one of our girls, we have her, and she does a lot of it. Now we try and we're learning, but Instagram, without a doubt, for the store is by far our biggest platform.
Way to connect. And I will say outsourcing is something that is learned. You just do not have it innately to give up that control. So you sharing that, you have someone at your store who helps you, I hope will help other people, see the value of adding someone to their team and maybe handing those reins off, because I know it's hard sometimes.
We can't do it all, though. We can't. We have to, delegate and have people to help us. So
absolutely.
Even though, some people, it might not look like they have people, we all do.
There are all people in the background, and they're just important.
They really are
in the forefront. So, yeah, I totally agree with that. I have this year started delegating some of my tasks.
Good for you.
Yeah, because I can't.
You can't do it.
You can't do it all, and you can't be successful at every single thing if you're trying to do it all. So I would rather be good at the few things, and then have someone else who's really good at those other things.
Yeah, and we share our vision and what we have in mind with her, and So.
And it's I think people hearing that, that it's going smoothly, and I'm sure as you navigate handing that over, there's rough patches or miscommunication, things like that. But in the end, it kind of, if it's not your strong suit and that it's getting accomplished, I think that's the most important part. So what has been, I love this question, what has been a pivot strategy that you put into action in 2020 that you are seeing pay off?
I would say a pivot strategy. I would say, to me, what stands out is we moved our advertising dollars from print, from our local magazines, unfortunately for them, but we tried to cut back in 2020 with, not knowing what was going to go on. So we took our money out of that, and we really got hard into Instagram, and we also opened up a website that, even when we were shut down for the 6 weeks, that was open. So that was pretty huge.
With the pivot strategy, I feel like we were in a really long episode of Friends, the pivot, but I think you want to see rewards from that, and I think you, along with anyone who's watching or other boutiques, if they put in the effort to make that pivot, they're gonna see rewards from it. So a lot of times it's planting the seed, and it may not grow right away. Yeah. But if you're diligent and you keep putting in the time and effort, I think you're really gonna see. And y'all, it's so nice for you with your website, because you do have tourists that come through, it allows them to keep shopping
Yes.
with you and be repeat customers, which is really nice, which is something you may not
Yes. Right.
have had before
Well,
2020.
A lot of our customers in the past have said, "Do you have a website? Do you have?" And I think at the time, year, 2 years, 3 years ago, when they say that, I thought, why would, to myself, I'm thinking, why would you want to shop our store? There's so many shops online. What would make us different? But because they came into our shop, made the connection with all the girls there, and with our store, which does have I think a warm, inviting, comfortable feel, they have a connection, and then they go there. And so I didn't quite realize that until we opened up the website, that it's continuing.
But you can still have the connection even when
Yeah.
you're not there in person. Like, they can text or email our girls that they know and trust, and that they can still sell. I know you did. So they can still sell, even though they're not actually in the store.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Okay, Emily, this one's for you. What are some ways that you have been connecting with your customers this past year? Maybe introducing new products, or a new way that you have started to engage with your customers.
Well, I think with 2020, when COVID hit, things got real really fast. And so we had to be a little bit more vulnerable and a little bit more authentic and show who we really are, which is kind of taking a risk a little bit, like when you're putting yourself out there on Instagram or wherever. But I think letting your customers connect with you and get to know you better, really helped us. And so one thing that, besides just putting ourselves out there, I think on the social media with a behind the scenes look and really showing who we are versus just the perfect, clips of what you might see. But then we also pulled in things to the store that meant a lot to us. So we both really like to read. And so one thing that we did was and we're both strong Christians, and so one thing that we did is we brought in some Christian books that we loved, and that kind of helped us through 2020. And that was putting ourselves out there a little bit, but I mean, the people loved the books, and it just shows kind of a little bit more a part of who we are.
Oh, I loved them. I mean, I bought several of your book choices, and I think I thought that was such a cool way to, just extend, because it is sometimes, even though you are your store, or your store is you still have that barrier because it's a business, so you don't necessarily let yourself fully through. Unlike me with my influencer, that is my business, is showing them who I am. So I did see quite a few stores kind of, take the wall down a little bit and let their customers get to know them personally a little bit more, or people who have shopped with them in the past, things like that. So I loved that. I thought that was such a cool way to get engaged with them, because I needed some of those books. I needed something to help me get through 2020 and even start off a really great year in 2021. So I thought that was really awesome.
Well, we are very much a lifestyle store, and that's just part of the life, our lifestyle. But another good thing about the Apparel Mart here, or America's Mart, is with all the gifts being here as well, or so easily accessible, we can pull in those products to help make the store well balanced in the lifestyle, also with picking up some gifty things too while shopping for apparel. Yeah,
and I feel like even some of the showrooms just during the apparel shows are starting to bring in more lifestyle brands that make their showroom more well-rounded, or offer just a new avenue or a new product that is, it could fit in anyone's life. Right. It doesn't have to be a size or a particular shade or something like that. So I think, again, that kind of goes back to what's going to come out of 2020, what kinds of products or clothing brands are going to evolve from what we've all been through. So in closing, what is one of your favorite things about shopping at Atlanta Apparel?
I mean, It's so nice. The fact that you can drive to it is huge.
Yeah.
We're not flying to markets anymore these days. First of all, you can't plan anything because as soon as you plan something,
it's going to get canceled.
It's going to get canceled. So the fact that we can drive is great. I think the location of it, I really do feel like every time we come, there are more and more lines. Mm-hmm. So we really think the market
we used
does
to
a
travel.
great job.
Yeah, we would travel more years past, and we don't really feel like we need to. So we're very thankful for that, because with our 8 children between us, it's really hard to get on a plane and go anywhere, far. And
Yeah, I agree. Over the past 8 years of working at the Mart and being a part of it, everything you need is here. Mm-hmm. They have done such an amazing job at making sure every trend, every brand, everything you could want is right here. You have Chick-fil-A on every wall.
What else do you need?
Starbucks.
They have done a really great job. And I think through COVID, making sure that everyone feels safe and comfortable, so that you guys can get here, because I know it's really vital for your store to be able to touch and feel what you're going to put on your floor. And then too, for these showrooms, that they are able to service y'all and help your businesses keep going. So thank you, girls, so much for coming. You were so insightful. Thank you for sharing, kind of what this past year has looked like, and, what you're looking forward to in 2021. I know everyone's going to enjoy hearing what you say. You guys are so successful, and someone that, in a store that everyone can look up to. So
thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Retailer Spotlight with Anna and Emily from Gigi's in Bluffton, South Carolina. We hope you have an amazing shopping experience here at Atlanta Apparel.